Welcome back to another episode of Learn with Shavern. In my last episode, or whenever it uploads, rather, you guys will see I spoke about the artificial intelligence because that was something interesting in the news that I wanted to share. Here's something else that was interesting. So, a British couple in their 70s, the woman is 70 and the man is 72, have recently been detained in Lisbon. Lisbon is a European country. For those of you who aren't familiar with your geographical areas, go ahead and Google the location of Lisbon. All right, so boom. This couple got caught by the United Kingdom's crime agency for transporting a large amount of cocaine. Now, check out the backstory though. So, they were on a maritime cruise from Europe traveling throughout the Caribbean. As they came back, this is when the discovery was made, or en route as they were headed back. This is when discovery was made about all this cocaine. It's funny because if I can find the link, I'm going to find the link for you guys again and see if I can share it. No joke. How do 70-year-olds get this much cocaine on a cruise ship? Like, for real, for real. How do a 70-year-old couple, and I'm not saying, just because people 70, they incapable. I've seen some really fit 70-year-olds. But understand what my question is. How does a 70-year-old European couple get massive amounts of cocaine on a cruise ship and nobody saw? If you guys have ever been on a cruise ship, you know how many bodies it takes to actually run a ship. Even if it's a small cruise, it requires some manpower. So you mean to tell me nobody saw this couple? Does it really belong to the couple? I don't want to come off sounding like one of those conspiracy people, but this article I read just raised a lot of it raised a lot of questions that don't make sense. And when things don't make sense, that means that lies are amongst it. Or that's at least how I perceived it. Whenever something doesn't make sense, that means there's a lie somewhere in there. Well, especially when you're reading something or someone's telling you something and you kind of like, no, I don't really get it. That's because there's a lie somewhere in there, and the reason you don't get it is because the lie is what's gonna fill in that hole to really connect it all to make it make sense, right? And that I don't know, it just didn't sound right. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny though, because I'm like, dang, British couples in their 70s out here getting it like that, like, they was pretty hard on Nicky Barnes, and he was just a dude up in Harlem. If you guys aren't familiar with who Nicky Barnes is, please go ahead and Google them. I am coming into a better awareness of the age gap that has been created, right? So I am 30 years young. I would like to consider myself as having a wide variety of life experiences, but now I am the old head, right? I am the old head that I used to be like when I was 14, 15, 16, like, man, you in your 30s, you an old head. You like an OG type of person. I am that person now. And so I am coming into that awareness that not necessarily that I'm old, but I am in a older generation, right? In comparison. So my intent is that these videos at least assist our young in some type of way to encourage them to be mindful, to learn self-love. Don't be out here being 70s, out here running the streets, hauling cocaine illegally on cruise ships, right? We want to discourage our young from doing things like that and encourage them to stay on positive paths, to make good decisions, to love themselves. We need to teach our young. It's really important to love ourselves. I know as parents, it's hard to teach somebody something that you don't know yourself. Yeah, I said that. So you got to learn to love yourself. And in return, you also want to teach your kids to learn to love themselves as well, unconditionally. This is a reoccurring theme that I notice keeps coming up for people. Self-care, self-love, doing it in all forms. Okay, all forms. It takes an immense amount of obedience to really enact self-love in the way that I'm describing it so plainly. I am not serving it justice by any means with my words on what self-love really is. What does it look like? How should it be done? Only you know that. My words in describing self-love will never meet up to what you can describe for yourself in terms of your own self-love and the thing. Whatever makes you feel good. As I've said, if you guys have been watching my other videos, you know my definition of self-love and self-care is doing anything that makes you feel good that is healthy as well. Right? And I'm not just talking about eating organically and stuff like that. Being healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, being healthy in those things. Taking up exercising, taking up yoga, taking up walking, taking up running, taking up bike riding, anything physical to remind you, hey, you're human. You need to be reminded that you are human, which means, what does that mean to be human? It means I am subject to failure, right? It means I am subject to nonsense happening to me. It means I am subject to greatness as well. It means I am subject to love, right? To be human is all of these things. And to be physical while doing these things is you loving yourself and teaching yourself this form of self-love and being consistent with it, right? All the things that you say to self, it's really, really important that you speak positively to yourself. I've been talking to a lot of people, and one of the things that I mentioned actually to one of the people I was speaking to in regards to this particular thing was in regards to caring for self and being a cup so full that you're overflowing enough to fill another's cup, but that all starts with you first. Don't be the 70-year-old couple out here in the Caribbean cruise ships and maritime smuggling cocaine, right? That's not self-love. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I just really think that that's so funny to me. I don't know why that's so funny, because in my mind, like, I'm thinking, I am just envisioning, right? And stay with me here. I'm envisioning a European 70-year-old couple with peppered hair smuggling kilos of cocaine on this cruise ship. Please, somebody, if y'all can't see the humor in that, I don't know, you need to laugh more maybe. Or learn to laugh more. But yeah, learn self-love. Don't be the 70-year-old couple smuggling, not smoking. You don't want to smoke cocaine either. Or I don't think you can smoke cocaine. I think that's crack. I think you smoke crack. But yeah, don't smoke crack either. Don't try to smuggle cocaine. These are not favorable things. There will be nothing fruitful that will come of that. But definitely learn self-care. Learn to love yourself unconditionally, without condition. Don't say, oh, well, when, for my fellas out here, don't say, oh yeah, well, when my chest is buffed up and I'm just right, you know what I'm saying, then I'm gonna really be feeling myself. And for my ladies, you're saying like, oh yeah, maybe if I get that right makeup or whatever, then no, feel yourself for how you currently are right now, okay? Your whole self. Like, if you have not done things in the past, if you have forgotten that you love yourself, remind yourself. An activity I've recently been encouraging for people, because I do this also myself, are goddess baths or godly baths for my guys, right? For females, this includes you filling up the bathtub, throwing some rosemary, lavender, any smell good type of essential oil in there, and relaxing. If you're a mom, 10 minutes is a lot of solitude for a mom, working single mom. Like 10 minutes of not having your children interrupt you is needed. Do it. If you're not a mom, if you're a single person out here, 40 minutes at least one time a week is a recommendation. I'm no doctor, but I promise you that you will see highly beneficial results from it. And for my fellas, same thing. That self-love, it's important, and not self-love in a boasting way. It's the little things that you do for yourself, to yourself, that nobody knows about, that really shows your self-love. So I wish you guys peace and blessings. Have a positive, productive, powerful day. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, becoming Patreons. I send lots of light and love everyone's way.